And we are live just like that. Hey everyone, welcome to SVT time. It is Tuesday. What's the date today? May 12th. Thank you.
May 12th.
It's May. It's like right here on my computer. But this is episode 97. We're almost to 100. We're almost there. And I'm in different surroundings today, actually. I'm not in my home studio, so it's a little bright here, but
you look beautiful.
Thank you, Eric. I always try my best, man.
Better lighting in the
studio. You're killing it, man. You're killing
right. If I can get a brown spotlight to bring out the blue in my eyes. Anyways, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. Another great SVT time today. Special guest today is Eric Bootow. Eric, first of all, did I pronounce your last name right? Bootow?
It's Bootow, like boo, like a ghost with boo, and then Tao rhymes with cow. But my whole life it's been butchered. Like, I mean,
dude,
we all have like
Come on,
yeah, we kind of all have last names you can butcher pretty easily.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
man. So all of us have butcherable last names.
Yeah, right.
Start
Dom,
a band.
how you doing, buddy?
Players. I'm good.
Yeah. So, where are you at right now? Where are you calling in from?
Right now. I'm in Santa Ana, California, which is part of Orange County.
Yeah.
But I'm originally from Fullerton, La Habra, is where I grew up.
So you grew up in Southern Cal, Orange County, that whole area.
Oh, yeah, my whole life. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and we're I know before we went live, we're gonna talk about the whole punk scene and your musical upbringing in Orange County and all that. And it's where my man is. I think I asked her, Dom, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm awake. I got coffee. It's good. It's a good day.
I'm just looking to see who we have in. So Eric, in case you're not aware, so we have kind of like Dom and I have kind of a fan base here with not, I should say SVT time has a fan base. It's not Dom and I. Dom and I could drop dead tomorrow. We could have two new hosts and these guys will still call in. But, so we've got Ray Chu. I'm not seeing Paul. I'm a little nervous that Paul's not calling in.
We got to shut it down if Paul's not here.
And of course, Jimmy Miller, Eric, right?
Yes, Jimmy's awesome. I've known him for a long time via Facebook, just talking about Ampeg, big dude, love him. He's always been a very good guy.
Jimmy's awesome. Yeah.
What's up, Jimmy?
Everybody. So, man, thank you for doing this. And like I tell everybody too, it's like this is basically the conversation that we always try and have at NAM, but you just can't have at NAM because you're getting pulled in a million different directions
every 30 seconds. Like,
yeah. And it's just crazy. But so we're gonna go back to the wee years of Eric Bootow and we're going to post some links too from punk rock bass players and the punk rock museum. But so Eric, did you come from a musical family? Like what was your upbringing? What was your background?
Dude, my family was very shocked when there was always music in the background of my entire life. My mom, my dad both loved music, but my dad actually was an ex-49er who got hurt during his rookie year, and he told him if you get hurt again, you might fuck up your neck and never walk again. Wow. So he took his money from being a professional football player, and then went and became a cop for LAPD. So growing up was very interesting with like my dad. I love my dad, but also I was a handful. Me and my younger brother were just absolutely crazy. And music scene, music and art, was our outlet. Like I played soccer until like 6th grade, and after that, I was just like all about music. Wanted a guitar, heard Metallica and Nirvana, and was like, "This is awesome." Yeah, I want to learn how to do this, and then I just got the bug, and I never turned back. But my dad being a cop. There were a lot of ass beatings and a lot of a lot of disruptions in that house.
Now, did your brother follow in your footsteps too,
Yeah,
as far as being a
both
musician?
him and I have been lucky, and he's in a band called Death Hymn Number 9. They're on Alternative Tentacles. They do a lot of stuff with Jello Biafra from Dead Kennedys. It's his label.
Cool.
Like, we've been both very fortunate to have had our music taken seriously by people that we looked up to.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
you know, right place, right time, never giving up, things like that, I think all come into play with just how, you know, playing music, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
go ahead.
No, it's other years, whatever.
No, I was going to say, what made you gravitate towards bass?
Dude, it's the thing I always heard in the mix. I wanted to play bass in the beginning, and my dad, when he was a teenager, actually played guitar. And he's like, "Hey, look, I'll buy you a guitar first, learn the chords, understand what everything means, and then I'll buy you a bass next year." And so I bought a shitty little Epiphone, like wannabe Strat.
Yep.
And it totally sucked. I learned my chords. I learned how to do power chords and, you know, C, G, D, A, whatever, and a couple little jazz chords. And then I was like, I still want to play bass. And so all I did was just save up money. I begged my family for Christmas for a bass. And then I came right down the street in Santa Ana, the old Guitar Center, and I bought a 1992 jazz bass. It was brand new. It was $500.
Wow.
So boy, I asked everybody for Christmas, like, just give me $25 to $50, like my whole family. Yep. Everybody, boom, 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 boom. And whatever I didn't have, I just made up with, you know, allowance, you know, cleaning up dog shit and mowing the lawn, you know. And I went and bought this bass, and it was like my girlfriend. Like I never wanted to leave it. I still have it. It's my favorite bass still.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, you know.
Now, yeah, I mean, and at that time, like we're talking early 90s,
92,
80s. What was the punk scene? What was the music scene, especially the punk scene? What was that like in Southern California? Because that was kind of like a pivotal time too, I think.
Yeah, like when my aunt and my cousins, they're all between 5 and 10 years older than me. They were all like balls deep into it when I was a kid. And, you know, like when I was hanging out with my cousins and trying to skateboard and just hanging out, or my aunt was babysitting me. She was like, listen to Black Flag and, you know, the Circle Jerks or Bauhaus, or like just all this cool music that I would never have heard because my parents were listening to, you know, rad stuff like Jimi Hendrix and Steve Miller Band and, you know, the Beatles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one day I hear Iron Maiden and I hear Anthrax, and then I get to hear, you know, Suicidal Tendencies, which when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, this is the band. That's kind of the band that just destroyed my mind. And I was like in second grade listening to Suicidal, like, you know, like it was rad. And also just being in the early 90s, I was at the right place at the right time. Everything was going off where I lived. Fullerton was the next city over. So you have like Social Distortion, the Adolescents, all these, you know, No Doubt was killing it at the time. And time, like when I was a kid, I rode my bike up to my uncle's house, and right across the street there was a band jamming, a ska band. I just went there as a, you know, curious kid, and Gwen Stefani was one of the people in the garage watching the band play.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it was everywhere when I was a kid.
That's
you know, go to Ralph's and you see the guys from DI or the Adolescents shopping for beer or whatever they were buying at the store.
Yeah,
like I used to see Mike Ness all the time at Ralph's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what? How would you describe? Because me being growing up on the East Coast, how would you describe the differences between like Southern California punk versus like New York City, Boston punk? Because there are pretty.
There's
different.
A massive difference depending on, especially some of the bands. I mean,
right.
You know, like California punk. I mean, you have like the early stuff, like the old heart, like Black Flag. You know, it's quintessential hardcore band that set the standard for everybody. But then you have bands like Bad Religion or the Dickies that are doing like very Beach Boys, like melodic, like, you know, even like on the drumming, like when you listen to old Adolescents, like Casey Roy or Bill Stevenson, some of the surf parts that they took from it. I mean, then you listen to like all the like Bad Brains or Minor Threat, all that stuff, or like every area regionally just develops their own tone, kind of, Bill. Regardless of style, music, punk, rap, or whatever, metal. Like you go, Europe, you listen to European bands, they sound completely different, but still a little Americanized. But I mean, every area has its own sound. Like Chicago has their own punk sound. Like everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
But growing up in California, I was just super lucky to just witness everything happen and blow the fuck up. It was insane.
Was there a specific bassist you gravitated towards?
Excuse me?
Was there a specific bassist that you were like, that's like?
Oh man, Randy Bradbury from Pennywise, dude. Like, I heard him. Like, I went and bought Unknown Road by Pennywise, and you're a kid, you're just reading through all the notes, looking at all the photos, looking at all the thank yous, and I realized that Jason, the bass player, main songwriter, didn't play bass on that record. And I was like, Randy Bradbury, who is this guy? Well, my 6th grade teacher, her and her husband owned a punk label. And they're like, oh, this is Randy. He played in All Day. He played guitar in this band, and he played in Tender Fury. And so I just started buying everything that he ever played on just as a kid. Because like when I heard, there's a song by Pennywise called Homesick. And during the breakdown, there's this like, I never heard a bass feel like that or ever really noticed until I heard that song. And that was literally the thing where I was like, I want to do that. I want to play that right there. And it's in the breakdown. It's like, it's Rad Phil. And he just killed it. And it's just really high in the mix. And so I was like, that's it. I want a bass. And literally Randy was the last straw for me. I was like, I need to get a goddamn bass. Because like I love like Robert Trujillo with Infectious Grooves and with like Suicidal. Just such a powerful play. Like at the time I was hearing all that stuff and Primus and the Chili Peppers, this is like 1992. And so like all these really hard bass driven bands was catching my attention. And I was like, I love Van Halen. I love all these solo dudes and Iron Maiden, but I was like, that's lame. I don't want to do that shit. I want to just hold down it and just make everything sound huge.
Be,
I realize it's a complementary instrument and it goes with everything,
Yeah, but it's also like most bass players, myself included, it's like, drums to some degree, but bass makes people's asses shake.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that's the allure of it, is just seeing people vibrating on a dance floor because you're bass, just that feeling. So
it's the first thing that carries through the wall, everything,
Yeah, absolutely. So Eric, growing up in Southern Cal in Orange County, you end up getting a bass. Now take us through that time, and then when did Jugheads start?
Oh, Jugheads Revenge. I was a fan of the band. Jugheads Revenge started way before me, about 1988.
Okay, all right.
Brian, the original bass player, is somewhere probably in here right now.
Okay.
Like creeping. Hi, Brian. But I just talked to him. He's like, I don't fucking talk shit. And I was like, okay. But like, I love Brian. He's the best. He's one of my best friends, But they started in 88, and I joined the band I don't know. I was in the band for 15 years. I don't even know what year I joined.
Right.
I was really stoked. But my fourth in line, we played with them a bunch when we were kids at Chain Reaction, and we met them. And then I played in other bands, with other members of the band, like the drummer Andy Alvarez played with me in Sederra for a while, like on and off, and McRad together. And then we just Joey, the guitar player, Joey Remigi, one of my best friends, he passed away last year. It was a guitar player. Him and Andy asked me to join. I didn't even have to try out. All I had to do was just learn a shit ton of songs.
Sure.
Which was insane. And then that's when I reached out to Brian going, hey man, I got to learn like 25 or 30 songs or whatever it was at the time. And he just was like, here you go. It just showed me how to play everything.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. So I went into first practice completely prepared and not wasting anybody's time.
No audition, no nothing. Just
no nothing.
You're in. You just got to learn the material.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had like 7 albums at the time, and they were trying to figure out which songs do we play. So I had to learn a bunch of songs that I never even played live with them ever in 15 years.
Wow,
man.
Or I played it once, and we're like, oh, that song sucks. Never again.
Yeah.
But
when
Jugheads,
an artist,
go for it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, Jugheads was awesome. I mean, I was a fan. I remember hearing them back in 94, 95 and be like, this band's badass, because they did melodic stuff, but then he would also do like really hardcore stuff like Poison Idea, Excel, like Black Flag. But then they would bust in something that was like super melodic, like the Dickies or like Bad Religion. And so like I thought they were always the best of both worlds. And so I was always just a fan.
Yeah.
And I used to go see him. I mean, I paid money to go see him. Never thought in a million years I'd be playing with this band.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow, that is cool. Did you ask for money back after you got the gig?
I tried. They're like, "Fuck you, kid. You're dumb." But, like I've been stoked. I've got to play with several of my favorite bands. So I've been very fortunate. I always think it's a blessing that I'm 47. I'm still getting to play music live.
Yeah, man. Yep. I think that was right around the time we first met. If I remember correctly, you came into a NAMM show, into the Ampeg booth, and introduced yourself. And I think I can't remember if Doc was still the artist relations manager at the time. Was it Doc at the time, or was
I knew Doc for many years through the band Zebrahead, because I grew up in La Habra, and I grew up with their brothers and sisters. I mean, I saw like Zebrahead's like second show. They play My Buddy's Kitchen, you know, like. Ed, the drummer who I worked for many years, he was my aunt's best friend. They grew up together. I've known him since like 86.
That's a trip.
And he also dated my babysitter when I was a little kid. And so he'd be at my house, like, like chilling, dude. He was like, a high school guy, Yeah. And, so you all be watching MTV or, whatever was on, Poltergeist or whatever movie they were trying to scare the shit out of me. I love Ed and Zebrahead, but that's how I met Doc.
Okay. It's like it's all one big family. It really is.
Really.
It really is. Hey, real quick, we gotta give a shout out to Juan Aldorete. He's on. Juan is here too, man.
I love Juan. Yeah, Pels and Effects. Like, I nerd. I'm a bass nerd. I love everything Juan's ever done. I've been rooting for him forever.
Yeah, we got to get Juan back on at some point too. I know we had him. Gosh, how many episodes? I'll have to look it up. But Juan's it's been a while since we had Juan on. So but so what prompted? I mean, by the way,
no wonder you look so good today.
See that?
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's it is like one of my favorite t-shirts. It really is. I'm not just saying that. Yeah,
I've seen more before.
Make sure you get one too, man.
What prompted punk rock bass players? And it started as a Facebook group, and then moved over to Instagram.
Started from Facebook. Pretty much, it's a really goofy story. It was the day after Thanksgiving. Obviously, I wasn't working. I'm hanging out. And I was on Facebook, and at that time there was a Facebook group, a bass player group, that like everybody was just posting about their favorite bass players. Jason Newsted, Jocko, Steve Bailey. Amazing bass players. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite bass players, Carl Alvarez from the Descendants, and I did a post about him, and it went south very quickly.
Really?
I'm shocked. Yeah. I just said, hey guys, this is who inspired me. And if you've never heard of him, check him out. He's kind of a Motown guy that plays in punk. He's kind of like the James Jamerson of punk rock, I would say. And I said those exact words. And next thing I know, I got every cranky boomer that's ever existed talking shit. I was like, whoa, dude, like, it was the comments were just going off, it was ridiculous. So me being an asshole, I decided just to, spark the flames, get those things going. And like everybody's mad at me. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this group and fuck Jocko. I just said that. And it was like,
oh my God,
dude, it was crazy. Like I was getting like death threats at that point.
That's like running into a brew house in Oregon and saying you don't like IPAs.
Yeah. Or running into a church and punching a priest in the face. Like it was just blasphemy. Like people were losing it. And I love Jocko, but I also know how to push buttons.
Yeah.
And so I was like, these guys could all eat shit. And so I said that and I got kicked out immediately. And some guy right before I got kicked out, it's like, hey man, fuck this group. If you don't like it in here, why don't you just go start your own group? And I was like, that's an idea. And I literally typed in 4 words, punk rock bass players, thinking on Facebook, there'd be like 10,000 groups because you put punk rock anything and it's like punk rock dog walkers, punk rock shit themselves, like, like whatever, it's there. And there was nothing. And so I just hit create group, sent to like 30, 40 of my buddies thinking we would just talk about some goofy stuff and had like a little safe place to talk about bass and not get made fun of by all our guitar playing friends. And 2 days into it, Carl Alvarez joins the group.
Nice.
And then he's like, hey guys, I'm Carl. I like bass, blah, 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 blah. And this starts talking. And next thing you know, everybody in there's like jaw hit the floor because it's Carl Alvarez.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, like I couldn't believe it. The next day, 900 people joined the group.
Wow.
The day after that, 1,800 people joined the group.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's like the bass player of Newfound Glory's posted in there, or like Casey from Guar and Nick Alveri from Queens of the Stone Age, and all these dudes are posting in there, which was just stoking the group out every day. And so like some of the posts, like Nick did one, and I was shocked by how many people saw the post. It was like 890,000 people saw his post.
Wow.
From the group.
Wow.
Like there's been times where my group in 1 month will get over 50. Well, one time it was over 15 million views.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I'm still at like over 2 million a month. And I'm just like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you grew it to 76,000 followers.
Yeah. And dude, there was like, 1 week there was like 25,000 people joined.
Yeah.
Once like you saw that this was obviously catching like wildfire, like did you have a shift in like your mindset of, okay, like this was a safe place for this, but like, do I have to do something with this now? Like, what do I do?
I felt like I was obligated, like not like obligated. It was something like, I planned a seed, didn't think anyone would give a shit because half the time, like no one really cares about bass stuff except for bass players, but you forget how many bass players there are. And it just like all these bass players joined, they had a place, they had a voice. Everybody has a voice. They could, talk about gear and not get criticized. They could ask questions like, hey, I don't know about this. Like one day it's like some kids like, I just started playing bass last month. How do I do this? How do I set up the equalizer on my amp? I don't know what any of this means. Next thing you know, all these pros are in there just helping people out.
That's cool.
It's absolutely insane. And so it blew me away. But so I was just like, there has to be something more that I could do with this, because it just seemed like I had something cool and everybody was so stoked and wanted to run with it. Like everybody's like, you made this cool place for everybody. What's the next step? And I was like, so I've been, like right now I'm about to release the website, which I'm stoked. It looks amazing. My buddy Robbie did a killer job on it. It artistically, everything is awesome. I've been working on the YouTube channel. I got like 40, 50 interviews already set up.
Man.
I'm just going to release about like 3 to 5 a week. Now the podcast with about 7, 8 episodes now already done. I'm just going to put one out maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, whatever. I just want to make people stoked, and it just ranges from gear advice, tour stories, how-to stuff. I've been talking to a lot of techs also to show people like, hey, like you don't know how to do something here. This is the best guy in the world to get information on how to set up your amp or how to set up your bass, just little stuff, just that like people need to know. Like if you've never been on tour, like, what do I need to bring? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's like, hey, I just kind of want to make it like almost like I don't know, like a encyclopedia or something where anybody can just look up and just figure out how to do stuff. And not, because I was lucky to be in Orange County, like I said, in LA, and talk to musicians. A lot of people, some kid in Indiana might not have anybody to talk to about anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad kids out there,
You growing up, like where you grew up,
Mm-hmm.
in the hotbed of that scene and everything. You were in a garage with Gwen Stefani watching other bands. You were watching MTV with other people that were in that scene, and like you are that because those things don't exist anymore. Like that's pretty cool that you're facilitating that kind of camaraderie that existed back then.
Yeah,
I never even thought about it like that. Yeah, it's just like that stuff doesn't even exist half the time anymore. You know?
Absolutely, and
music, all that stuff was amazing, man. It's weird to like mourn the loss of that, and then also know that there's probably 10x 100x whatever online of that type of thing, but it's just finding it's difficult in the sea.
Finding it, it's like it's just I'm trying to create this platform, and like I've talked to a lot of my favorite musicians and bassists, and I've also asked them like, hey, would you be interested in doing like be a writer on the website, or would you like to contribute a video blog about like what bass means to you, or what do you want to talk about, like what I think it'd be way better than like, like, hey, I'm Eric Bootow. I mean, my opinion, I guess, counts for something, but like the guys who you looked up to actually giving advice, talking about stuff, because, like when I was a kid, read Guitar Player magazine, every once in a while, some artist would do an article and I'd just be blown away, like you get all this cool insight that then I gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, like I have this cool platform and I could help people, just get what they need out of it. Like if you're a punk rock bass player, like, or a person who's metal or whatever, maybe, an article about Jocko isn't really that interesting, like not to talk shit, but to me, like as a kid growing up, Chris Novoselic, I was like, oh dude, his bass sounds crazy. How'd they get that? Had no clue. Oh, Craig from Sick of It All has the best overdrive tone I've ever heard in my life. How does he do that on any bass cab he gets on? Had no clue about Sans Amp, like like you just need that one person to show you, hey, this is it. Like I remember going to see the Boll Weevils at the showcase years ago, and the bass player had a brass nut on his bass, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I remember going up to him after the show, because when you're a kid, you didn't have YouTube or anything like that, so I would go and talk to these guys about gear, and this guy's like, no, dude, if you want a brighter tone, this is what you need to make it punch. And I was like, next week I go to my bass teacher, coolest dude ever, and I asked him about brass nut, and he's like, oh yeah, you want to do that. So rounded up some money, picked up some dog shit and mowed a lawn, and went and got a brass nut put on my bass,
Yep.
15.
I love that story. Whenever you need money, just pick up shit and mow a lawn.
Hey, that was when you were a kid. You actually got
that's what we did. When But man, it's it's so interesting, and I think I know. I'm not going to cast any dispersions there, but I think I know the bass player website that you're talking about that you got kind of chastised but my point being, like, that to me, and I can't, I mean, obviously, all genres of music, but I'm probably not as well versed in the punk scene as I used to be, or I should be. I'm probably more versed in it now than I was before. But the one thing that I have always taken away from the punk scene and the punk movement is there's no judgment. There's no, oh, you don't know what a C major 9 chord is, or like, it's just like, dude, there's no judgment. Like, just play what you feel what you play. And don't judge anybody by it. Like, everybody's doing their own thing, and that was
ask questions too, and you're not getting chastised like in a music theory class. Like, it's like, I never heard of this. Holy crap! Like, about this chord, like I learned chords by listening to the Beatles. Like, I never took a music theory class or anything like that. I just ended up learning everything by ear. But yeah, dude, it's just like some guys like Didi Ramon held it down.
Yeah.
3 notes song. Then there's guys out there like Brian Robinson. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He's a bass player of a band called Wilhelm Scream. The guy is he's doing finger tapping, he's doing jazz runs, he's doing chords like him, like he blows my mind. Like he's just a next level bassist that I think more people should know about, because but like then there's always the guy who's just playing two notes or whatever, and that's it. But they're all on the same level of just like being in a band.
Yeah. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Sorry, Aaron. I forgot. It looked like Aaron was posting a comment, and I superseded and posted. So Aaron, I'll let you post the comments. I'll stop. Thank you, man. So now, like you said, we started with the Facebook group, moved over to Instagram. You're working on a website. You're working on a YouTube channel. You're also doing something with Punk Rock Museum in Vegas. Tell us about that.
So in October, there's going to be we're still working on a lot of stuff. It's in the works, but there's going to be an exhibit, a bass centric exhibit about evolution and playing a bass in the punk scene over the last 50 years or whatever, or maybe a little bit before and to right now. So I'm really excited about that. Just doing a lot of contacting of musicians, and there'll be a lot of equipment, a lot of iconic basses, and I'm really stoked about it. Stories behind the bass, or the amp, or whatever the instrument is, or gear, and just like I did, hey, it was on these tours, it played on these records, did all these, whatever, like the backstory of what kind of made the bass player sound, give them their voice.
Yeah. Do you think Ampeg had a lot to do with that? I know we're all Ampeg geeks, but realistically, anytime you see Didi Ramone standing in front of an 810 cab, or anytime Ampeg was kind of part of that, I would think.
I feel like Ampeg's just the whole thing of rock and roll, loud music, in general, just full sound. For me, I mean, I believe almost all my favorite bass players always played Ampeg, and there's a reason, because of the tone. Like they all might have different tones, but it's always this full tone. You never hear somebody go, dude, that guy unless you don't know how to set up an Ampeg, you're gonna always sound huge. I've never heard somebody sound small. Regardless of the tone, it's always gonna sound big. But most of those punk bands all use Ampeg from the beginning. They still do. It's a staple. It's like the standard. Like to me, I mean, there's other, some bass players, use they'll always have the 8x10. That's like the holy grail of bass cabs. Like some guys you might see 810 with a Gallon Kruger, RBI 200 or but most of the time it's always an Ampeg. And unless you have a bad back and they're just like, I can't carry this up the stairs anymore.
That's when you just hire somebody to do it for you.
Yeah, you just get some beer and I've done that several times.
Rachel was talking about this, about this whole thing of nothing happened beyond the 70s, and we see a lot of that in like music communities here and there, but you see a lot of that in gear communities too, specifically, and how there's nothing, everything's got to be vintage, everything's got to be that, and it's just interesting, especially like making products for a brand that's been around since the heyday, and has been like industry standard for so many different genres of bass tone, that it's hard with new products to say like, hey, we're building upon the thing that we did so long ago, that you're always going to get the guys like, I got a 69 SVT, I got this B15, I got blah blah blah, which are incredible, but I don't believe that it can't be like replicated and built upon in a modern way. Today.
And you can just modify those old ones out too, or the new ones. I mean, me, it's just like whatever works and sounds good. I mean, touring and stuff like that, and do fly out days. Like you're like, oh shit, what am I playing on today? And it's just like, you have to learn how to set up everything and learn how to make it like work for you. you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, all that old 70s gear, it's rad. It's cool. It's kind of an investment now. Everybody wants to pay top end dollar for shit that no one wanted to touch 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But
It's funny. I remember, you know, when I first got introduced to Ampeg at a very young age from a guy that I was working for, I started at that time, that was like early 80s. You couldn't give an SVT away. Like literally, I would walk into a store. I remember distinctly walking into one of my local music stores. He had, I don't know what year it was. It was a Magnavox era SVT in mint condition. And I think he was asking $250 for it. And I said, I'll take it. And he tried to talk me out of it. The store owner was like, oh, you don't want that. That thing's a boating. And at the time, you know, Galen Kruger. I had a GK 800 RB prior to buying my first Ampeg. That was 800 RB was kind of my first like pro amp.
Yeah.
But yeah, GK and SWR was now coming into light and he was trying to sell me on this stuff. And I remember like, no, I want an SVT. And at that time, I think I had like 4 or 5 SVTs at that point. Every time I'd see one, I would just buy one because they were like, yeah, just give me $300, just get it off the show. Yeah. And then fast forward like 10, 15 years, I moved to LA and I joke about this all the time. I moved to LA literally in a U-Haul truck that had my basses, a whole side of SVTs and 810 cabs, and my Harley. That's what I moved to LA in.
You weren't messing around when you moved to the
Harley. Yeah, basses, Ampegs, and a Harley in a U-Haul truck. You know, welcome to town. But anyways, as you know, as most of us who move to LA, you know, have a hard time finding work and raising money, and all of a sudden, like now, this is the era of the death of heavy metal and the beginning of grunge.
Okay.
Now those SVTs, oh shoot, with a road case, yeah, I'll give you $1,000 for it. A 69 SVT in mint condition in a road case, yeah, I'll give you $1,500. I literally financed most of my first year of NLA by selling those SVTs that I had bought for $200-$300. So it was really cyclical the way it worked, you know. And now, you know, now it seems like it's kind of, I mean, it's still kind of cyclical, but it's still, you know, obviously a vintage SVT is gonna command a higher price, and you know, people are still looking at it. But yeah, I mean, you know, the New York rig at the time was an 800 RB on top of 2 Harkey cabs before Harkey started making heads. The LA rig at the time, and Eric, you'll know this, like if you were a bass player in LA in the 90s, it was a Tobias bass on an SWR rig. Like that was, you know, and you know, here comes this kid, you know, into LA with an Alembic and an SVT on his Harley.
Yeah.
Freaked everybody out.
I bet.
Yeah, but yeah, totally cyclical, man, you know. And actually, here's an interesting comment from Route 66. Trainer came up with the 810 first.
Yeah, I heard something.
And then he said, but I feel Ampeg improved it. That I didn't know. Not that I don't believe it, but that's something we got to look on that. Like we got to do some research on that, and of course, you know, give Trainer the credit if they came up with the 810 first. But yeah, interesting. So Eric, are you still gigging? Are you still playing, or I
still play. I just played a bunch of shows last month.
Okay.
We fourth in line. We played with RKL and Good Riddance up in Ventura. It was awesome. I've been busy kind of focusing more on getting out our record, and then also punk rock bass players. I mean, it's like a full-time job, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's,
you know,
it is a full-time job. I mean, just, you know, Dom and I can attest to this. Like just managing your own social media page and trying to stay relevant is a full-time job and a fruitless full-time job.
It's nuts. Yeah, like I have like right now, I think like over 4,000 pending comments just in the group. Wow. And it's like I try and go into and next thing I know, I approve something and somebody says something in the comment. Next thing you know, there's this huge fight and like I go and like stop it, or somebody's saying something insanely racist, and you're just like, dude, you gotta get out of here. But the group always takes care of them anyways.
Right. I was going to say the group kind of self-mediates itself. To some degree,
the group kind of keeps people in check. And sometimes, like I'll see a political post. I'm like, yeah, I'll let it go through. And I just watch everybody fight and I just kick out all the assholes because I'm just like, it's really easy to get rid of a bunch of pieces of shit when you just let one thing go that's going to totally trigger them. They can't like help themselves. It's like, dude.
Well, nowadays, you don't even know if that's a bot or not. It's like, so
the bot thing is really crazy. Like I always wanted to keep the group open to everybody because I feel like I want everybody to share what they have to say. I don't like when groups close out because then it only lets X amount of people.
Yeah,
and that's why the group blew up so big, is because of having it be open. Because my friend Matt, who I also play in a band called Fire Cell with, or fill in with them. He does punk rock drummers, and he's one of my admins on the group. And he's like, hey, I want to do this because I'm a drummer. And I'm like, go for it. And his group was killing it. And then they came into like a massive like argument on like, Paige the group went nuts. And so he closed it off, and then it stopped growing. And all the posts stopped going viral because you can't, if you have a group and somebody posts in there and it's like a porn story or something like that.
Yeah.
People can't share it out the group. So it kind of falls on deaf ears.
Oh.
So I always left it open just because I want people to share. Like, there's been stories where guys have done really cool things for the community. Like one time there was a guy met some girl who's like, oh, I don't have enough money to buy this bass. Was at a guitar shop. He went in and just threw the money at her so she could get her bass.
That's
and I was like, holy shit, what a cool thing. And the guy talked about it. And then next thing you know, like 10,000 shares later, you're just like, whoa. And that was just from my group. And then it just brings people back. Check it out and go, this is a cool group and seems really cool with accepting people for whatever, differences they have. And so, it's always, I've always tried to keep the group positive and open.
Again,
and ask, but it's worth it when people enjoy and get something out of it. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's not like you say. It's not some of these Facebook groups can just kind of be bitch posts and bitch. Just a place for people to piss and moan about their gear. I've never seen that. I think there's maybe one other bass related website that is very positive in that respect, but not to the degree where people are going in and actually laying out cash to help somebody buy a piece of gear, or that's going above and beyond, serving the community. And again, it all falls back on, the punk community and just, everybody kind of helps each other out. Yeah, dude. Hey, we got to talk about your V9.
Yeah, is that V9?
Oh, yes, right there.
With half or not 2/3 new woofers.
Yeah. I got for $99 on Craigslist.
No way.
Yeah, it's $11 a speaker.
Man,
I've never plugged anything into it because the guy who sold it to me seemed like he smoked a lot of crack and throughout his whole life and did a lot of acid because he was just out of his mind. I mean, the guy was a gear hoarder I've never seen. Wow. He had more gear at his house. Also, the guy was probably worth a couple $1 million. His whole house was like Guitar Center.
Wow.
I thought his house was a hotel. Nope.
Wow.
Like it was, long story short, he had more gear than I've seen anybody in my life. He probably had about 10 of these, a bunch of old Ampegs that like I didn't even know they made. They look like PA heads, like 2-inch speakers and stuff like that. All this crazy stuff. And he was just trying to get rid of it. And I was like, you know what? I will just take that because at the time, like, I don't know where to put this in my apartment.
Yeah.
We found have it.
in the Ampeg warehouse like a few weeks ago. It is so ungodly heavy. It's insane.
Oh yeah, it's 19 millimeter birch.
Oh man, it is.
You can't get it through a doorway. Like,
No,
Yeah.
like you have to like go sideways and stuff. But
So-
I've never plugged into it because I don't trust the guys. He said he rewired it, and I was like,
yeah.
no, I just bought it because it's a pretty
Dude.
paperweight. You know,
Dude, remind me. I'll see if we have a wiring diagram for it, so you can at least go in. Have you opened it up since? You never know what might be in some of those speaker
no, I
cavities.
haven't messed with it. I've had a couple friends. All I know is, the bottom ones I know are the square back ones.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know what the top ones are, but
Okay.
I've never messed with it. I just wanted to buy it because it was like buying a unicorn. I was just like,
Totally.
I have to have you. It's just a giant paperweight right now. I've always wanted to plug a head into it, but I didn't want to take the gamble of blowing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like shocked that the A10 was so successful. Clearly the V9 came after, but like why? And then on top of that, why did they call it a V9? Because there's no valves in it. And then also, like, what era was that? Was that like 70s? Was that
Early 70s? They only made them for like 6 months or something like that.
So
They're actually a guitar cab.
Yeah, that cabinet accompanied the V9 head,
okay?
which was essentially an SVT with, I think, a
with
distortion channel in it.
Distortion and reverb. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one once and I got to play on it, just the head. And a couple years later, I got this. I was like, oh man, if I was able to buy that back in the day, I should have, but I didn't.
But in infinite Ampeg wisdom, just like your grandma would never like waste anything in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Ampeg would never waste anything in the factory. So at one point there were SVTs that were coming off the line that had the V9 moniker on them.
Oh,
but they were just regular SVTs.
Mhm.
Because they were reusing the face plates and the back chassis plates that were already stamped V9, and instead of throwing them out, they're like, no, just put them on the SVTs and get them out of here, sort of thing.
That's
So
cool.
there are if you can score a V9, if you can find an SVT that is an actual SVT that has the V9 etchings on it, I don't know if they're worth any more money, but they are somewhat rare.
Dino, I sent you the photo of that one. I think it was at Malibu Music or something.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I didn't put the two together like that went with the V9 cab. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's what the V9 cab was, and I think it. Again, in Ampeg's infinite wisdom, it's like one more is always better. It's like the B15. No, let's do the B18 now, and let's do the B22, and But yeah,
Do a V10.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're tall for the tall guys like me.
It was the 70s. Yep.
Actually, see, Jimmy Miller is an Ampeg historian here too, just as much as you are.
Crazy.
So yeah. He would know. Dom was in the 70s. But, so what's next? See, what's next for punk rock bass players? And by the way, like I said, where can people get the shirt? Because these are showing up all over the place, man.
It's kind of crazy. I thought I'd sell like maybe 100. It's like I was into one batch, kind of like for homies.
Yeah.
And I gave a shirt to Nick Alveri at NAMM, not this year, but the year prior.
Yeah.
Took a photo, and it just went ape shit online. And my Facebook Messenger was so full of messages, I was shocked. And so every time I do, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do one. This is the last one, and then a million people buy the shirts, and then a bunch of people miss out on it. They're like, how can I get this shirt? And I'm like, I guess I'll do some more. Right? It's a pain in the ass, but it's cool. I mean, it's amazing to see. Like last year, I went and played at Brack Rock in Belgium, and while I was there, I counted 13 of the shirts, and most of the people, like it was either the musicians that were playing with them on stage, which I was like, this is so cool to see this, because no one knew I was going to be there. Like, I had like 10 days to learn this set while I was out on tour with Death by Stereo. As soon as I got home from tour, flew out like a week later to go play in Belgium. And everywhere I looked, I saw the shirts, and I was like, this is crazy. Even the people that worked at the festival were wearing it. And I was like, I'm in Belgium.
Crazy. Yeah,
like,
that's
I helped
crazy.
buddies help like package and silk screen these things and stuff. It was absolutely nuts. But my friends that I grew up with, they own a print shop called Dead and Buried in Santa Fe Springs.
Okay.
And we grew up going to punk shows together. We grew up playing backyard parties together. I trust these guys very much, and so they've been the guys that I've known them since junior high. And I'm 47.
Wow.
And they print all my stuff, or the punk rock bass shirts. And like I try to change up colors and stuff. And like I just was trying to connect punk rock to with bass playing, and I always thought it'd be a cool design just with the 8x10 cabs.
Yeah.
Do the Black Flag logo. And when I was like, hey, like I tell my friend, he's like, who designed it, he's like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna work. And I'm all, bass players are gonna get it, dude. You're a designer. I know this is gonna lose its mind. Like everybody's listening. And it just went nuts.
Let me show you. I mean, this was at I know I can share my screen, but I'm terrible at doing that. But Dom, Rob, Ty, Eva. I mean, he was wearing that shirt the whole day. It wasn't like you gave it to him and he went and put it on. He just showed up wearing a punk rock.
Yeah, I was fucking, my jaw hit the floor when I saw him wearing it, because like a few months prior, I went and saw Infectious Grooves at the Garden Amp in Garden Grove.
Yep.
Well, I love Garden Amp. I'm friends with all the people. Everybody that works there are my friends. The stage manager there is Amory Smith, the original drummer for Suicidal Tendencies, and then he also played in the Beastie Boys.
Sure.
I was there, and he's like, Eric, come with me. He told me, he's like, bring a shirt down tonight. Let's try and get it to Robert. So he brings me in the room. I'm just there chilling. I'm just like, oh my God, it's Robert Trio. It's like, this dude's like, besides Metallica, to me, Suicidal and Infectious Grooves are just some of the greatest music I ever heard in my life.
Right.
So I was chilling, and my friend Joaquin came up, and he's like, hey man, you want to meet Mike? Like Mike Muir? I was like, yeah, sure, dude. And so he came up, and he's like, hey, this is the bass player Jugheads Revenge. And Mike Muir and Robert Trio have known the Jugheads guys since like the early 80s, because Joey Ramici, who passed away, the guitar player, his parents owned a bar or a billiard inn, or called the Billiard Inn in Venice Beach, where Suicidal used to hang out. So when they used to do band meetings there, they used to hang out there and just loiter there. Joey was the guy coming out, bringing them their sandwiches and their beers and stuff like that. So they'd known Joey since he was a kid. Joey also went to high school with Robert Trujillo. Like, they knew each other. Joey used to go see Robert play with his, backyard party band. We was, doing the Sabbath stuff and all that stuff. Yeah. We were kids. So Joey and the Jughead guys were like this with Suicidal. So when Joaquin introduced me as the bass player of Jugheads Revenge, Mike Muir looked at me. He's like, that's not the bass player of Jugheads Revenge. I've known Brian since like 82. I'm like, I'm the new dude. I've joined the band about 15 years ago. And they're like, hey, how's Joey doing? I'm like, and Joey just died like 3 months prior.
Oh, God.
Joey passed. And Mike Muir, being Mike Muir, went from Mike to Michael. Like, like, what? And I explained to him what happened. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I'm kind of here backstage. I wanted to try and give this shirt to Robert. I'm doing this thing called Punk Rock Bass Players. And he looked at the shirt and he's like, this is a fucking awesome design. 1 second. Walks over to Robert Trujillo, because I was just kind of like in the corner, not wanting to interrupt him. And he was like deep in a conversation. Mike's like, you got to meet this guy right now. And I was like, oh shit, And so Robert's like, hey man, like, what's up? And I started, hey, I know you're I'm a bass player. You're a bass player. I know how much you love bass. I started this group called Punk Rock Bass Players. And I just wanted to give you this shirt, because like, he just looked at it and he's like, this is awesome. And I see him and he just takes off his other shirt, puts it on. He's just like, yeah. And then I took a photo.
That's
Next
cool.
day I sold like 400 t-shirts. Thank you, Robert. It was absolutely crazy, because it was just like somebody I've worshipped since I was a kid, like was like just going, taking what I did seriously. And then when I see him at NAMM, I'm in the bass player, magazine, booth, with Eva and like a bunch of other friends.
Sure.
And I just, like all these cool guy bass players and podcast guys. And I just hear, holy shit, Eric. And I turn around and it's Robert. And he looks at me. He's like, hey, like this. I'm like, ah, like, because I'm wearing the same shirt, the exact same shirt. And I was like, there's no way this is. And then that's when I think a lot of these podcast guys that never gave me the time of day then came up, hey, man, what's up, dude?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And the next thing I know, I'm talking to Robert, he goes away. And the next thing you know, Mike Durnt's like, how do I get that T-shirt? And I was like, what? Like, so I was just like, give me your contacts and I'll send you a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'll send you 50, whatever you want. But like when I saw Robert, his wife came up to me, he's like, this is his favorite T-shirt. He wears it around the house all the time. And I'm looking at his shirt and I'm like, oh, it's faded. He wears it a lot. I thought he was just like, wear it for a second, wipe his balls and sweat with it and just throw it in a trash can or something. But he rocks it. I don't know.
Seriously.
Ever,
I wear it on my country gigs and people comment about it. Like, dude, cool shirt,
Yeah, I think the design works and it carries not just to punk rock. I think it just carries itself in general.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is. Forgive me for saying this. It's kind of like a surrogate Ampeg shirt in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? I mean, it's an advertisement for Ampeg too. So best bass cab in the game. Yeah, but like the bass cab on the left, that's Carl Alvarez from the Descendants. Okay,
that one right there. That's Carl.
Oh, who was? I think it was who was asking what
J10, I think.
Yeah. Whose A10s these were?
One's it was just like I asked the group who has some beat up cabs, and then like Stefan Egerton was like, "Hey man, I can get you some rad photos if you need one for
there we
from
go.
Carl's." And I was like, "Oh yeah," because I blame punk rock bass players on Carl Alvarez because it seems like everything that was rad because of Carl, and that one on the left, that's his, or the one on your right, I guess, is his bass cab.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, and then the other three, one's my friend David's, I grew up with high school with, and then two other ones were just guys from the group that just sent me these really cool photos. I was like, oh hell yeah! They're like, well, what do you need the photos for? And I'm like, an art project, because I didn't know if it was gonna come out cool or not.
Yeah,
I wanted like cabs that like look like they got the shit toured out of them. Don't clean cabs don't look cool. Beat up ones look badass.
Yeah,
man. Hey, we got to we're at the top of the hour here, dude.
Wow.
Like,
I'm a chatter. So to me,
dude, you know what? So here an untold story is every time we have a guest on SVT time, it's always the big conversation comes up, and it's not between us. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's the guests. Like, well, what are we going to talk about? And it's an hour long. It's like, man, we're going to go an hour. Like, you're going to, and by the time the hour comes up, it's like it just flies by. Yeah. Because again, it's the conversation we want to have. That's what we got to. That's going to be the subtitle of this series, the conversation you've always wanted to have at NAMP but never could.
Yeah.
But before we get going, I do this quick 10. It's actually more like 15 now, 16 questions, quick fire questions.
Cool.
That I'm just going to fire out there. You got to answer what comes to mind.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. So, P bass or jazz bass?
P jazz.
Nice.
Nobody's ever done that one. That's a knuckleball, man.
That's what I've
PJ.
Yeah, no, that's exactly that, and that's exactly what we want. Passive or active?
Passive.
Okay. Rounds or flats?
Depends. It just depends on like who I'm playing with or what I want to go for. Or the
Desert Island. Desert Island.
Oh, Desert Island?
Yeah. If you're on a desert
if I was on a desert island, what bass or what strings I would use?
yeah.
Ones that hopefully don't rust on that island, but I guess the ones with the most brightest tone. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I'm brain dead right now, but that's where I'd be at, I guess.
Okay.
What would last me the longest?
We'll go with half pounds on this one.
Yeah.
B15 or SVT?
SVT.
Okay.
As long as I'm not carrying it.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Nobody's carrying anything around here. Cable or wireless?
I love wireless live. Cable, usually always at my house or rehearsal or obviously for recording. But prefer always wireless live. Okay.
Pick or fingers?
I am a pick player because I started off with guitar, but anytime I'm not jamming with my band, I'm always playing with my fingers just to improve it. I just don't. I could play with my fingers like not a problem. I just don't feel as secure and comfortable as with a pick. Like
I got
pick, I don't have to think about anything.
Yep. Okay. IEMs or floor wedges?
Floor wedges.
Okay. Window or aisle?
Oh, aisle always. I hang out. I'm 6'3". I'm like a big slob on a plane. I'm like,
I got me out all the time.
Yeah, always being hit by something. Yeah.
Yep. High bunk or low bunk?
I would do low bunk just because I've fallen out of bunks before.
Black with white piping or silver and blue?
Silver and blue.
Wow. Okay. All right. Hot chocolate or coffee? And they do get sillier as we go.
I'll take a Monster.
All right. Favorite place to eat on the road, and this could be a specific restaurant or it could just be a cuisine.
In the U.S. or in anywhere?
Anywhere.
If I'm in Europe, I'm always going to go to a shawarma shop.
Oh yeah,
all the time, every day.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Me and my buddy Mike, the singer Chaser, when we were in Europe together touring, that's all we did. We'd go play a show, party, and go find a late night shawarma place. It'd be like donors give us boners. Like we would just be like, it's like pounding everything. We look like
the next shirt.
The next shirt.
That was a shirt that we kind of said, but confusing. There's some weird looks in the grocery store.
Man, so shawarma. Okay.
Shawarma all day, every day.
Love shawarma.
Your go-to lick for sound check.
I usually always try and do the low end stuff. So I would say like Whole Lotta Love by like Zeppelin or Gratitude by Beastie Boys.
Okay.
Anything usually in the key of E because I just want to hear how it carries and stuff like that. And then after that I jump to the D and G and just do my like Peter Hook wannabe stuff to see how everything
good choice flows. Yeah, great choice. Cheesecake or carrot cake?
Oh, damn you. That bastard. I'd put both of them on top of each other if I could.
Yes.
Cake sandwich.
I'd totally do it. And I think next time we hang out, we should do that.
Cheese carrot cake. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, I'm a fat bastard. I'll do all types of weird food combos.
Or you take the frosting from the carrot cake and put it on the cheesecake and don't even take the carrot cake. You know what I mean? It's all about the frosting anyways.
The frosting's so good. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Oh shit. I am trying to think if G.I. Joes were Saturday morning, but I'm just gonna go old school and just say Looney Tunes. That shit, Channel 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd lose my mind. I always loved it. Now when I watch it, I'm kind of like, oh, that's a little crazy, but it's it made me always want to beat up my little brother.
Totally.
Like I learned a lot of lessons of like how to give concussions to my younger brother, my poor little brother.
Totally.
I said shit. You're like, okay, I got a toy gun. Boom. That little thing didn't come out of his head.
I want to buy stock in Acme, but there was no Acme company at the time.
Dude. Oh man, Wile E. Coyote showed us how not to use it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Oh man. Dude, this has been an absolute blast, Eric. Thank you for doing this, man.
Dude, this is so cool. Thank you guys for having me. Like, this has been an honor, man. I mean, like, when I was like, my dad's like, oh, what are you doing on this day? And I'm like, I'm doing this like live podcast with Ampeg. And he's just like, Ampeg? Like, I was like, I felt like I made it in my dad's eyes. He's always like,
awesome, man.
My stupid band geek son, like, and it's like, I mean, he helped me buy my first Ampeg. So he's just like, badass,
That's cool. That is cool. And
thank you guys for having me and just supporting what I've been doing.
Absolutely. In fact, who was it that had said it more? Aaron had already shown it, but sorry, Aaron and I had toggled it back and forth. She'd probably like take away the controls from Dino. More future, yeah, absolutely. We will be doing more punk rock and honestly, if there's artists in our roster, in the Ampeg roster, that you aren't hip to, which I find it hard to believe that there's nobody on our roster that doesn't already know about punk rock bass players. But by all means, just say, hey man, can you put me in touch with so-and-so? And I'm happy to do that.
If they want to talk to me, anything, I'm stoked just to
definitely
talking to people. And thank you guys for just believing in what I'm doing,
totally.
So
totally.
Cool.
Yep. And everybody, punk rock bass players, go check it out. If you're not following them, go follow them now. And man, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining in.
Thank you guys.
This concludes our broadcast session, but I was just about to say who is on the next SVT time, just so I can get it queued up here. So, May 26th, we have Hoogie. Hoogie is like, if anybody's going to hire, like he is the ultimate guitar tech for everybody. So, it'll be an interesting session with Hoogie. Hoogie's a dear friend of ours too. So
tons of information. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be listening.
Yeah. Yep. We're gonna take everything behind the scenes now and see what goes on and putting a gig together and putting a stage together and whatnot. So all right, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Right on.